everyone, and welcome to the September 19th Board of Selectmen meeting. As a preliminary matter, the meeting is being conducted remote, consistent with Governor Healey's authorization issued March of last year regarding open meeting law. Individuals wishing to participate may do so utilizing the Zoom conferencing technology. Please note the meeting is being recorded and shared live on Facebook, broadcast via Dover Sherburne Cable Television. Accordingly, please be aware that others may be able to see you. Take note not to share your screen. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Please remember to mute your computer and please identify yourself when you're speaking and if you are called upon by the members of the board. As a preliminary matter, I will make sure we have a quorum this evening. I'm John Jeffries, Chair, present. Robin Hunter.
Present.
Dave Haviland.
No, present.
You're here.
You had to think about that, Dave?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's been a day.
Been one of those days.
Michael Blanchard is here. Chris Costello is here. Carol Lisbon. Jason Belmonte is here. Chris, before we get the meeting started, the opportunity for citizens to speak. Did anybody contact you? Do we have anybody who's waiting in the queue that would like to be recognized?
No comments submitted to me prior. If anybody would like to make a comment that's present, please raise your hand or feel free to make a comment now. Not seeing anybody, but I think we're good.
Good. Well, thank you all for attending. We are going to move to our first item of business, which is Mr. Belmonte is here. Jason Belmonte is here. We'll provide a background on the shared intermunicipal public health. I have to move my cursor just 1 second. Agreement between IMA, the intermunicipal agreement between Dover, Medfield, Needham, and Sherburne, and summarize the services and programs offered by the Charles River Public Health District. The IMA has been reviewed by Town Council, and we will have a motion. So without any further introduction, Jason, welcome.
Thank you for the nice introduction, John. I appreciate it. And hello, everyone. Good evening. Just for the record, my name is Jason Belmonte. I'm the director of the Board of Health for the town of Dover, of course. Also with me, she just hopped on, Carrie Dunnell. She's the shared services manager for our public health group. So I'm before you guys this evening seeking approval for our shared services public health agreement that we have with the town of Medfield, Needham, and Sherburne. John and Robin, I'm sure you probably remember Community Paradigm did the Board of Health study for us a few years back. Had a handful of recommendations for the town, full-time health agent, which myself.
I was going to say would be you.
Check.
Nurse position, and one of the recommendations as well was entering into the shared services agreement. So now 2 years later, we're finally looking to finalize said arrangement. And we've actually been working with these folks for close to 2 years already at this point. Between meetings, one of the shared agents has already been helping out, excuse me, around town with inspections. I've been helping them out with trainings. So it's just a really good opportunity for cross collaboration, opportunity to pool resources. It's 100% grant funded, so Town of Dover is not contributing anything. Like you mentioned, John, Town Council's already reviewed this. So I'm just here tonight looking for the formal approval from you guys. Board of Health just gave their approval at our meeting last week, 2 weeks ago, the 9th. So once we did that, the next step, of course, was you guys. So here we are. So Carrie and I are happy to answer any questions if you guys may have them. And
Thank you, Jason. That was wonderful. Hi, Carrie. If Carrie, would you like to add anything to Jason's comments?
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having me. So I'll just say, it's great to get to work with Jason. Y'all are very fortunate to have a health director like him. I really appreciate getting to work with him. He's very practical and very knowledgeable. The shared services arrangement is as Jason said, right now we're operating under a memorandum of understanding that all communities entered into, I believe, last June, prior to my joining the program. This is simply a step to, this formalizes that existing arrangement under Chapter 44A, where communities are allowed to enter into intermunicipal agreements to collaborate amongst each other. And, we think it's a great opportunity for the four towns to work together. I've been working in public health for a long time, and we've been talking about ways that shared services might benefit. It's very exciting to get to be actually working on implementing shared services at this point.
Well, thank you very much. Robin, any questions or comments?
I am just really thrilled to see that some of the recommendations that were made by Community Paradigm have been implemented. It's even better, I guess, to see, to get a sense that this has been working under an MOU, and we're just, because it's a great way to make sure that it does work. I think when you're a department of one, Jason, this is extremely helpful to you.
Yep.
It allows you to go on vacation maybe once in a while. So, because so I'm fully supportive of it. I'm glad to hear that it's working, and I think, small towns, we have to do more of this because we're so reliant on one or two people. So really entering into some of these shared services, I believe, is the way we should move forward, so that we all have backup and support.
And expertise.
And exactly, and because you can't know everything. Just anecdotally, I had this gentleman work for me a few years ago, and he had what he called the hit by a bus test. He said everybody needed to know how to do somebody else's job just in case you got hit by a bus. And, it's so true. You just need backup. You never know. So glad to see that we've implemented it, and I'm hoping that this is a model for some of the other departments to look at. So thank you.
Thank you, Robin. David?
Yes, I'm also fully in support. I do have one question that you might have to get clarification on. It's in clause 12 on the bottom of page 7. And it has to do with withdrawal, and it says that both the Board of Health and the Select Board need to vote. Is that together or separately?
It would be separately, but it's intending to replicate the process of entering into the agreement and protecting from just one body deciding to depart. We require both the Select Board and the Board of Health in order to join. We would do the same courtesy for any departure.
I just wanted to make sure that it's not totally clear. And
Okay.
so I don't know if you guys want to tighten it up on a future year or something. I have no issues with it. I just wanted to know what the answer was. And I don't know why, but that just stuck out at me. But other than that, no, I think the future financial obligations will be determined by that steering committee because, this grant, the ARPA, did I read it right? It's $3.5 million.
So it's a little confusing the way the contract comes through. That contract is reflective of Needham as the host community, and we have a contract for to host both a shared services arrangement and a training hub. That the shared services arrangement is $325,000 annual. We have guaranteed funding for 3 years, which is unheard of when we're working but with state and federal grants, we're always working year to year, and the luxury of getting to work, have a 3-year, know you have funding for 3 years it's a game changer in terms of what work you can do. The 549,000 annually, that's for a training hub program that I run, that all 4 of the communities will benefit from, but that one I serve 43 communities and we provide training services.
Wow.
So,
You're a busy woman.
I am. I don't do it by myself. No,
Okay, good.
in no way, shape, or form. Thankfully, we have a regional inspector. We're hiring a regional public health nurse who'll do some coordination across the communities. We have a assistant program manager. No, it's a lot of work. So, and this is not actually ARPA dollars, and I'm gonna hedge now because it's been a little bit since I've heard directly the funding source, but we've got partial funding is from workforce development funds. These are secure dollars. In terms of future commitments, you're correct. I mean, it is a decision of this body as they continue to collaborate of whether it wants to apply for additional grant funding. Does it want to go back to communities? And this is just an example, but we might say, you should go back to the community. We want to see if we can get a community contribution that would support a multi-community position. Right now, it's all grant funded. This body would be the advisory board would be the place where we'd have those discussions, and then each town would vote and decide, and we'd move forward on that. But right now, we're just happy that we have funding for these 3 years, and we're anticipating doing some strategic planning this year and moving into a community health assessment that then will be followed by a community health improvement plan. So we're looking forward to getting that kind of work done that will inform what future decisions folks need to make.
Carrie, does the advisory board exist right now?
It does. The advisory board is made up of members of so there's sorry, I'm hesitating to see if I have a graphic that I could share readily. So the advisory board is, as seen in the IMA, you see it's made up of a voting member from each of the 4 communities. We ask that each community have a primary and an alternate. You'll note that we are a quorum of 4. We can't do business if all communities are not present. So it's very important that there be an alternate, that they be informed about the work, and that there's regular participation. We do need to do business. We meet monthly. The representatives for Dover, if you don't mind, Jason, I'll say so Kay Peterson is the primary, and Jason, the Board of Health just voted in, he's the alternate, so that way we know there's coverage from Dover. And we welcome anyone. I'm always saying, as many people as want to come to our meetings and learn about how we're trying to do this public health, they're most welcome to come. But we have to have one person from each community in order to conduct business. And if anybody ever decided to come and constituted a quorum, they would have to post themselves and try and make sure they're careful about that. So yeah, we meet monthly. We rotate, we alternate from hybrid and in person, and people enjoy the opportunity to get to meet in person, but because it's monthly, hybrid is helpful.
Well, I thank you. That you actually answered a whole bunch of sub questions with that explanation. So thank you very much.
That's great. That's Carrie. Thank you. It just we're looking forward to seeing how it works. It's you have geographically a lot of area to cover. You've got a lot of diversity between Dover, Medfield, Needham, and Sherburne. There's a lot to address. So thank you. There's no further discussion. I'm going to move to the motion. I move to approve the intermunicipal agreement for the public service health excellence for shared services grant entered into and by and between the towns of Dover, Medfield, Needham, and Sherburne, and ask for a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor? I, John Jeffries.
I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
Jason, thank you. Carrie, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. We really appreciate the time.
Yep, and thank you for the explanation.
It helped.
Thank you.
Of course,
Good.
thanks for having us. Thanks for having
Thank you all. Again, Jason's fantastic. We're thrilled to get to work with him. So thank you so much. Take good care.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
See you guys. Take care. Thanks.
Our next item of business is a discussion and vote on the memorandum of understanding between the town of Dover and Minuteman Regional Technical High School for the construction services on the DPW cold storage shed provided by career educational program students, and vote to waive the building permit fee for the shed. Kevin McCabe is here. I love this idea. Absolutely love it.
Thanks for that introduction, John. Yeah, so this is a great opportunity for the community that, residents have the option, right, of going to the vocational school. Their students, they're in a good opportunity for the town to get a capital improvement project done and strictly the cost of the materials for the project. So if you're familiar with the site of the DPW, this is in the back by the cell tower. It's a decrepit shed, acts as a cold storage. We put our salt spreaders, we hang them in it in the off season, and then when they're in the vehicles for the winter months, we put items such as our mowers and our wood chippers and stuff like that underneath there, so they're somewhat protected. So this is something that I've had success in my last community. We are a member of ASABIT, so I had 2 consecutive projects at my. They did a swap shop and a book swap, 2 consecutive school years. So this is something we were trying to get on the books with Minuteman for a little over a year now. So they had the opportunity this school year. So I'm looking for the board to allow Town Administrator Blanchard to enter into the agreement and to waive the building permit for the town project.
Hey, Kevin, do you think that we could get Michael Blanchard to get a hammer and a tool bag, a nail pouch, and get him out there like the guys on TV and swinging?
I'm counting on it. I'm counting on it. And I'll definitely put that in the town newsletter, and I will capture that moment for sure.
Would this be under Maine Cabin Masters or This Old House?
I'll let Assistant Town Administrator Costello dictate that for the final editing. So
I think that's a great idea. He's got to have a hard hat, the tool belt, and he's got to have an actual hammer. He can't have a nail gun.
absolutely.
Robin, Dave, any questions or serious comments?
Go ahead.
I think this is a great program. So
You just took my words out of my mouth, so now I have nothing to say. I think this is terrific. What a wonderful way to utilize resources and provide opportunities to learn for all these students. It's a win all the way around. So yeah, thank you. I'm done.
It really is.
John, before you move to a motion,
yes.
the copy of the MOU received has some red line edits from Nina. Minuteman still has to review that, so it's potential there could be some small tweaks. So at the end of your approval motion, if you could just add, pending final approval by town council. That way, if there's any small tweaks, she can do that on her own, and we don't have to come back.
Okay, will do. I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between the town of Dover and Minuteman Regional Technical High School for construction services on the DPW cold storage shed. I move to waive the building permit fee for construction services on the DPW cold storage shed. Michael, do you want them separately or can we do that together?
You can certainly do it together, but the first portion of the motion just
And
would be subject to
The
final
first
review by
portion,
town council.
let me read the first portion again and just add to with the final approval of town council. I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between the town of Dover, Minuteman Regional Technical High School for construction services on DPW cold storage shed prior to the approval by town council.
Subject to the final
that?
approval of town council.
Yeah,
Subject.
subject to final approval of town council. Mona, you good with that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye, John Jeffries.
Hi, Robin Hunter.
By Dave Haviland.
And then secondly, I move to waive the building permit fee for the construction services on the DPW cold storage shed. Ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, John Jeffries.
Hi, Robin Hunter.
By Dave Haviland.
It is a hard thing to say, cold storage shed. For some reason, it's a little bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah, we down at the DPW refer to it as the pole barn, and I think part of that is because the original construction of it is actually old utility poles. So those are the timbers holding up the roof. So.
And the part in the back, Kevin, is just where I assume the trucks back into it and it backed right through the backing of the back of the shed when you drop the sanders on.
I would assume so, but it's so deteriorated. We're only going to go down partially, just so it's partially covered from wind and debris blowing in there. But yeah, I don't know originally how far it went down. I think it predates my existence on Earth, but.
I'd be willing to bet that.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do the same distance? Like, is it gonna be the same footprint?
It's an exact same footprint. So basically, they'll repair the sides. A couple of the timbers are actually pretty stressed, so they'll fix those, put a new roof on it, put a little vinyl siding on it to clean it up. So it'll be a total transformation.
Terrific. Thank you. That looks great. Well, don't go away. We're going to go to item number 3, which is a discussion and vote Woodward and Curran proposal for professional engineering services for municipal separate storm sewerage system. General permit required for permit year 7.
Yeah, so we are currently in permit year 6. Permit year 6 closed June 30th, similar to the fiscal calendar, and that will be due in the next. That is due the 30th. So then this work will begin. This is trickled down through the EPA. It's a federal and state regulation that we have to maintain and adhere to. It's a 10-year permit, and there's already talks about reissuing another 10-year permit, which is on the horizon to this. So obviously this is something that has to be conducted by the town, that we have to undertake. Funding would be out of our engineering budget, so local operating like years past. So with that said, looking for the board to authorize Town Administrator Blanchard for approval.
Got it. I was just looking at the tasks and just the summary. The summaries and the tasks are all well written and just seem to be consistent with what we have done in the past. Doesn't look like anything has changed. Kevin, are there any changes or things that would jump out at you that you would make note of?
No, obviously we rely on our engineering consultants to give us the best service possible. The only change is internally is switching vendors. With my experience from the stormwater regulation, I decided it was time to switch vendors to one that predated me in town. Woodard and Curran does all of our culverts, so I wanted to keep that holistic to put all the stormwater into their realm.
Great, thank you. Robin, any questions?
No.
David?
Sorry, I do have a couple. One, so I'm just going to assume that the Board of Health, Planning Board, and everyone has signed off on all of this?
Doesn't have anything to do with them.
What's the storm sewer system general permit?
Yeah, so this is state and federal. It has nothing to do with local. So this is for our basically our existing discharge to keep basically our existing infrastructure that we have town-wide.
Working.
Okay. That I'm curious as to why our local boards don't get involved, but if you say they don't need to be, then they don't need to be. My second question is on 6.1, and it basically has to do with ownership and use of documents. And if I read this right, we pay for these services and we don't own the documents and can't reuse them without paying them again.
I guess that would be a Nina question. This is their standard service agreement, which was tweaked and edited 2 years ago when we did our first culvert project.
Dave, are you referring to the GPS, the mapping and the?
Well, it says all documents, including drawings and specifications prepared or furnished by consultant, blah, 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 shall retain an ownership and property interest therein, and we're not allowed to use them ever again without paying them. So it seems to me that if we're going to spend money on documents, we should own those documents.
Yeah, I think that's more, again, that's a legal question, but it's more so in the release of their data to basically another consultant. Similar to our storm drains, we had to do a release with the county to release the CAD files to a different consultant who actually did the design work off of that. So those are just kind of pre-existing legal
I would agree
parameters
with
that
that.
these
I mean, we're
companies
not
set
trying
up.
to
Yeah.
misuse
Yeah.
or somehow get wrongful gain, but that's
Right.
not what this says. So has this contract been reviewed by town council?
Yes, this is the template that they reviewed 2 years ago.
Kevin, where does all the data live? Once we do the mapping, once it all, they know where everything is, they know where everything flows, they know, how do you access it when
Oh,
you need?
all of our GIS files now are currently hosted through ARC DOT. So basically, or I'm sorry, GeoDot. So basically, MassDOT allows the community to have 5 users. So it's all hosted through ArcGIS, those data points and shape files.
Yep.
But we do have copies of all of that.
Do you get to have access to it? If
Yes.
anytime you want it?
Yes, like for our previous consultant, I have all of the GIS data for all those points that we're trying to integrate with the SRF grant that we have with a different consultant mapping what wasn't mapped with that previous consultant. So basically,
Dave, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kevin. I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, so I guess I understand Dave's point, but I haven't seen that in an issue in the overlap with any of these consultants and the different, one's doing kind of ArcGIS and hosting it, one's doing mapping of the actual sampling of outfalls and what have you. But I do have copies of all of that. So
Right, because it goes on to say that if I understand this correctly, that the client, being us, can use the information. It appears that we just can't reuse it and give it to another consultant to use. But it's not. Why don't you just ask Nina to take a look at that paragraph and make sure that, because I believe that's the intent. Which is kind of standard of what I've seen with consultants. You can reuse it, but they don't want you
Resell it.
giving the data to somebody else.
So I guess, Dave, what I think what my clarification and or thinking it through and reason asking Kevin of those questions, if we have access and we have access anytime, then as a user or a licensee or however you want to describe it, we have access to it. We have the data. I think we're all on the same page.
Dave a good point. So let's just ask Nina
Yeah,
to.
that's us, Nina.
Yeah, if we could just do that, and if we have, I'm going to use the words essential ownership, right? Because I'm not a lawyer, and can use it however we need to as a town, not reuse it, not give it to anyone else. I
Right.
get that,
Right,
Right.
but
that makes
that's
sense.
that's all I'm asking.
Okay. So
So-
Mike, maybe so do you want to,
We could
How do we-
approve it
so why don't
contingent.
we just do the exact same thing we did? Why don't we make the motion and have John add subject to review of section 6.1 by legal counsel?
That would be great.
Perfect.
Michael, you be good with that?
Yes, yep. And I
Okay.
can connect with Nina on that with Kevin.
I move to approve the master professional services agreement along with scope of services dated August 21st, 2004 between Woodard and Curran Inc., Town of Dover for professional engineering services related to MS4 general permit required for permit year 7, subject to the approval of town council. How's that sound?
Excellent. I will second that.
All in favor? I, John Jeffries.
I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
Great. Kevin, you good with that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Mike, you good with that?
Yes, all set. Thank you.
Okay. Number 4, discussion and vote to include in the tax bill mailing at DPW and recycling committee flyer regarding the townwide transfer station re-stickering program. Kevin is here. Carol Lisbon is here. The DPW and recycling committee will be implementing a townwide transfer re-stickering program. Kevin will explain the program and the stickers and the process, and Wade even has gone out of his way several occasions while we've been there to new residents to say, wait, you don't need to do this yet. We're going to have a re-sticker. So
Well, you still need a sticker now,
he's,
right? You can't get in there without one.
yeah, people who've come up, Robin, while I've been there that said I need a new sticker, and they showed them their
Oh.
license, or they show them that they're new residents of town. Wade has said, give us a week. We're gonna have new stickers, or 2 weeks.
It's a month.
It's a month. Did not know that. Hello, Carol.
Hello?
Kevin, anything you'd like to add to this?
I believe Chris or Mike, I didn't know if you wanted to take this or not.
Yeah,
I
so
guess,
Kevin, I'll let you
I
speak to the program. I think
Sure.
it'd be good to give the overview. I will say the reason this is a separate agenda item is we had hoped to include an insert in the tax bill that's going out in about a week. We learned today with our vendor that that's not going to be doable given the vote taking place tonight. We missed that deadline. So we're going to regroup. This was only one piece of our communication effort. We're going to regroup and talk about some other options. So we won't need a vote tonight, but I still think it's important for Kevin to just kind of give a public overview of what that process is going to look like. And Chris and myself, Kevin, and we'll touch base with Carol and the recycling committee on some options we think we might have to make sure we reach all residents.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, so I'm sure as patrons of the transfer station, we haven't done this venture in 6 years. So it's time. Thanks to the Board of Health, they implemented solid waste hauler regulations. So now we're going to kind of be able to retrack and have 2 data points from people that actually have curbside pickup at their homes and who actually use the transfer station. So for me, it seemed a timing thing was the time was now, as we'll have that data back for the calendar year. As far as the difference between now and 6 years ago, is we're going to be able to implement existing infrastructure digitally that the town has. So as far as the communication, Chris will take the lead on that. This in the newsletter, Facebook posts, town website links, and me and Chris have already retweaked the online permitting and rechanneled that. So instead of being like 6 years ago, you could only get it at the transfer station for, and Carol could correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 2 weekends that we did it. We're going to be able to cut a lot of that burden out, whereas people will be able to fill this out online. It'll ping to the administrative team at the DPW, and we're going to directly mail the stickers to residents to cut down on the actual physical restickering efforts on site. And the recycling committee has volunteered to help us on November 16th. So for people that, aren't technically savvy and, are used to getting their sticker at the transfer station, we'll be able to do that. And then once the stickers are in, we'll be able to offer, Wade, like he does now, issue stickers. Well, I guess not currently right now because we're on a break. And also at the transfer station or at the DPW facility. So we're opening up all those avenues that really weren't available 6 years ago for the ease of the patrons and residents of the community.
So the memo you wrote says available the weekend of November 16th on the recycling committee. So
Yeah, so that'll be the physical, the weekend that we're there to do it. If people don't fill it out, and we can put them on the side and reissue them there. But once they're
So you should just make sure that the recycling committee can be there both days, or if not, then maybe they help out on November 16th and
they are helping out on the
Okay.
16th. That's
Okay.
correct. Yep. And then basically after that point, they'll be available, kind of as people come in. And like I said, also available at the DPW during normal business hours.
and most importantly, online. So you
Yes.
can get them mailed to you. That's how
Yeah.
I
Yes.
keep in mind.
Can't do it any more convenient than that. So
Right.
Carol, you were about to.
I was just gonna say the recycling committee was told about this last week, and we did commit to manning the table, if you will, on Saturday, the 16th of November, because that's our semi-annual special recycling weekend where we have shredding and tire recycling and bicycle recycling. So we were going to, and new light furniture back. So we're going to be there anyway. We haven't committed to any other days on site other than the 16th at this point.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you all. Dave, anything you'd like to add, questions or
A
comments?
quick question. When people sign on, would it be possible to put a little message or to ask people if they would like to join Chris's contact list for the town? I mean, we're now going to have active people signing in to do something, and what a wonderful
Good idea.
opportunity to get more signups.
Yeah, I guess I'll speak to that. Certainly possible. That's one of the benefits of creating all these different avenues is that we'll have different pots of data for our residents. So we'll find we can discuss a way to integrate that in to the application, but ultimately we might see a lot of overlap from people that are already currently subscribed or have seen it before. So it's definitely possible. And we can look into a way to at least raise awareness about those services. As a lot of people are going to be taking advantage of the stickers. So it's a good idea.
As you deems fit, Chris, I just thought I'd throw the idea out there because now we have a lot of citizens all of a sudden with a purposeful need to concentrate through technology. It's an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Great. It's great. Mike, should I just add when available to the end of the motion?
No, so in this case, you won't have to do a motion at all. What we were hoping to do is include a mailer in the tax bill. And under Mass General Law, we can't do that without your blessing. So that's why this was coming to you. We couldn't just do it on our own. Unfortunately, with the vendor, the deadline looks like it was actually this past Monday to make it into the bills. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna regroup, think of some other ways that we might be able to do some additional communication. But in this case, this specific vote isn't necessary at all tonight.
Okay, great. Kevin, Carol, thank you very much for this. Carol, thank all of the committee for their work and their attendance. I will be there. Will you put the sticker on my old ambulance for me? Will you? with on the window?
I will do that if you will guarantee me that like Craig used it for me 6 years ago, give me sticker number 2 and number 3.
We'll talk offline, Carol.
Who gets sticker number 1?
He
Craig,
did. He
Craig.
did. Craig did.
Yeah. Yeah. We all probably will go to jail for doing that, but yeah, we can do that.
We can have a community raffle for sticker number 1, which will make people sign
I
up
say
on the website.
an auction, a community auction for number 1.
I was just trying to get
That's
more
a great
people.
idea.
What's the highest bid? And Carol, we could make the contribution to like the New Life furniture or something like that. That would be
Or
cool.
something, it's actually a great idea to do something to get folks, or everybody that signs up online gets put into
A raffle,
a raffle or something.
right?
Carol, at my kids' school, they would raffle off the parking space for pickup,
Yep,
and it would go for like $10,000.
yep.
Parking space number 1 for
I've been in those environments,
car
absolutely.
line pickup. It was just crazy. So yeah.
Aren't we supposed to walk more?
We are going to move to the next item, which is the Sustainability Committee. Anna is here. Hi, Anna.
Hey, yeah, speaking of walking more, sustainability.
Well done. Very well done. In fiscal year 25 goals and objectives, the Board of Selectmen established a sustainability committee. Anna Nagy is here to discuss her work and to update and present a draft for the committee charge. Anna?
Yes. So I think everyone got the latest charge in the packet
did.
for today. Oh, you didn't?
We
Oh, you
did.
did.
It's supplemental.
Did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Perfect.
did.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to just get everyone's take on it. We've been working on it in the housing task force, and then I've been working with Robin to make sure I was sort of headed in the right direction. So the structure is, as you can see, I'm defining the committee as being in charge of, advising and supporting the selectmen, but also increasing transparency and education, and hopefully moving towards some initiatives where we can, improve over sustainability. The layout is such that I'm asking a lot of town boards to nominate people, and I'm currently working with, scheduling with everyone and getting their takes. But so far, generally positive feedback. I haven't had anyone being like, sustainability, what is this? I do not like this concept.
I hope not.
Yeah, exactly. We're headed in a good direction, but I want to get everyone in detail, which is why I'm not asking for, an approval vote tonight or a disapproval vote, just because I want to go and talk to each of the boards and make sure I'm taking in their input. What I am hearing is policies people are interested in us starting with is especially water and the water report and making recommendations off that. But then I'm also hearing stuff, maybe we can support green energy initiatives. Maybe we can support both, municipal buildings and supporting homeowners, climate resilience. So mostly I just wanted to make sure this is sort of all sounding right. And we're headed to something that, reflects what you all need, because we'll be a subcommittee or advisory committee.
Right. So Anna, first of all, I want to thank you for taking the lead and pulling this together. Really appreciate all the thought that you put into this. I think the one thing from our numerous discussions that we had was this is a start, and this committee is going to evolve as we begin to make initiatives and as the whole sustainability environment changes. So, and that was the goal Anna and I talked about, start now, start with low hanging fruit, get some initiatives under our belt, but continue to look at trends. Anna did I can't even begin to tell you the research she did. You know, she reached out to many other towns to see what they were doing. We also wanted to make sure that committees that were touching green initiatives were members of this committee, so we wouldn't be doing things in a silo, that we would get feedback, constant feedback from some of the other committees. And you know, we also wanted to get potentially a student or two on the committee to get their feedback as well. So at the end of the day, you know, I think where we ended up is a great start. And we're going to start with it. And once we get the members, we'll probably be tweaking the charge. But it's certainly an extremely exciting committee. I think I would be surprised if we didn't get a lot of interest. And as a town, I think it will allow us to affect many of the initiatives that we've been talking about. So thank you, Anna. I don't think these two pieces of paper reflect all of the work that you did. So I really appreciate it.
Well, all the work went into condensing it into 2 pages. So it made sense
I
in
know,
like
I
a one
know
read.
that.
Oh, that is great.
I'll be sure that is the case. David?
I would just like to add the comment, echo what has been said so far, but this will not hurt us in gaining favor is not the right phrase, but working with the state and their sustainability goals, and just having the town be in good light with the state. So it's just one more initiative along those lines. So thank you.
And our citizens, I mean, you'd be
Yeah.
surprised at how many citizens, you know, want us as a town to do more. So again, we have 2 at-large positions, and it would be a great way for citizens to get involved. And you know, we're gonna try ways of reaching out, because we do need ideas as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Can I
Yeah,
just
definitely.
make one
Mhm.
comment and give
Yes, please.
one person a shout out? And Anna, prior to your involvement back in the old days, Robin and I were part of the long range planning committee. And the long range planning committee, Carol's probably rolling her eyes at this. Carol, Robin, we were all part of that in one way, shape, or form. And it sort of, that committee morphed into many different things. We would talk about housing and water and all the things that you've taken on, and in various segments, in various degrees of it. And I see this as a more focused, maybe a more there's a lot of similarities to the sustainability in the long range planning. We really couldn't, the long range planning was a bit broad, and I think that this is defined and narrow, but yet covers so much of what we need. Carol, do you agree with that, or you probably could be a bit more eloquent than I, but these thoughts came to mind as we've been reviewing this.
Well, thank you, John. I hadn't thought about it, but you're absolutely right. It's sort of the 21st century evolution of something that started a long time ago. And having been involved in some of the discussions with Robin and Anna as part of the housing task force, I just need to reiterate that you guys wouldn't be here tonight talking about this if it wasn't for the incredible work that Anna has done. And she has reached out to all the committees. The planning board and our subcommittee, the tree committee, is very excited about getting involved in it. And we just know over the years that I think if the communication is done, that there'll be loads of people knocking on your door, Anna, to be involved in this committee.
Great.
Right.
Yeah, it really is. One person, Anna, who's been deeply involved in this in Dover, Carol will know this, Robin will know. Jack Donahue, he chaired the last long range planning committee, an attorney here in town, lives on Main Street. Just a great guy, great family. Tony, his wife, who everybody knows and has seen walking around, has been a part of this. She's battling some health issues, but seems to be making a turn for the better. And I've been thinking about them and thinking about her, and just from the Board of Selectmen want to send our thoughts, wishes to them as a family. And again, Anna, thank you for your work and really taking this on from here. So really appreciate it.
John, one quick question for Anna. Do you need anything from us to help support this moving forward, or are you good right now?
Anyone to talk to who's done similar things? I think I've talked to you all, but Jack Donahue or other people from long range planning. I want to avoid us, reinventing the wheel. So I know I've got some emails out to talk to water committee people, but other people too would be great. And then if you see any issues, you want more people, you want less people, you want more students, you want less students, that would be good to sort out. I want to avoid starting with a charge we plan to change, but I fully expect us to change it relatively quickly. And that would be a great success if we had enough opinion and initiative to take this and do something different with it.
And
then, yeah.
It's sorry to interrupt, but really, certainly I worked with Anna, so she knows I support it, and she wanted to make sure that there was support from the other selectmen, and to confirm that she's headed in the right direction.
I say just keep going.
Right.
Great. That's great.
Well, I look forward to voting on it soon.
That's good.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you all very much. We are gonna move to our next item, number 6, and the Board of Selectmen's committee, Board of Selectmen and committee and commission's golden objectives for 2024-25. On August 21st, 2024, a memo of goals spreadsheet was sent out to town board, committee, and commissions asking for feedback on the list of the fiscal year 25 goals and priorities identified by the Board of Selectmen. The Planning Board and the Conservation Commission submitted their input and suggestions. The Selectmen will discuss the responses received. Michael, would you like to add to that introduction?
No, I think you covered it. I think for the board, you've seen the goals a number of times. I hope most of them stick because we're working on a lot of them already. So we hope they're there. But we did get I thought some very good written feedback from specifically the planning board and Concom. I think you've all had an opportunity to read it through. Planning reiterated the support of a couple of the goals we identified, such as online permitting and the rail trail. They did ask that the Board of Selectmen consider including water as an additional area for the sustainability committee to look at. We do have it on here, but I think that would be appropriate. Concom, again, I won't read it all, but they reiterated and agreed with a number of the priorities we identified. 2 that they asked you to consider that are not on our list. One is enhancing the GIS system and providing support staff to effectively update and customize the town's GIS database. And the other is digital conversion and storage systems for town documents. So again, things that I personally am very supportive of, but in both cases, my recommendation to you is I think it would be very difficult to include those on the current fiscal year goals, as those are going to require, somewhat significant financial resources, which we do not have in this budget year. So certainly it's something that, if the board wanted to look at, how we may try to add some funding going into FY26. I think that might be appropriate, but I don't mean to dismiss these. I think they're really important. I think it's just it's a matter of funding, which we just don't have in this current fiscal year.
Right.
Thank you. Robin?
Mike, as I looked at some of the suggestions, what I did notice is how many of them dovetailed what we already selected, and some of them were, what I would consider to be things we certainly have talked about many of these, well, especially the digital storage. And at some point, I'm sure we'll get to it, but there's some other priorities that we need to do. But one of the things I thought about was maybe next year we could consider, prior to setting the goals, sending a memo out to the committees and asking them. It would just reverse the tables, and maybe it would provide us with a catalyst to do something different or something that we may have missed. But I agree with you. Some of the there are things on there that are worth looking into, but we certainly not only do we not have the monetary resources, but we have a lot on our plate to accomplish. I'm not sure we have the human resources
It's true,
to
yeah.
complete everything as well. So
We don't.
But these can be used as a roadmap, if nothing else,
Exactly.
for what we wish to put as warrants for next year's funding to roll the cycle forward. So I love I think, Mike, you just said it, someone just did, that, use this as kind of a roadmap from them, them being the other committees. And I was very pleased to see the overlap.
yeah, it basically confirms that we're on the right track, or the entire town is on the wrong track. But either way, there
I hope
is consensus, which is great.
Is that a subtle rail trail reference, or right
No,
track,
it's
wrong
just
track?
we could all be right or we could all be wrong, but hey, we're all headed in the same direction.
Well, yeah, it is good, and I hope we when we get to that point in just a moment, we can actually start picking off some of these. But
Right.
Yeah, agreed. Michael, there's no motion. Any other discussion? Would you like to add anything to this?
No, so it's kind of, we broke this into two agenda items. So the first is to review the feedback, and then if there were any additional goals you wanted to include, we could discuss that now. And then your next agenda item would be to finalize and vote to adopt the goals and objective, either as we presented them, or if you did want to make any amendments based on the feedback you received.
My preference is to move and approve as we have them, and as we've just discussed, it's more likely, as we do every year, we incorporate things as they appear, as they evolve, and as things change and we go throughout the year, some things that we think were mid priorities become top priorities. Some things that were top priorities solve themselves and work their way to the middle. So, Robin or Dave, do you have a preference either way?
I think specifically to the question, should we add some of the suggestions from the other committees? I would say we just don't have the bandwidth nor the financial resources to add the ones that aren't already on the list. However, I think when we start the process next year, if somebody, I'm sure either Mike or Chris or Mona will keep in a folder these suggestions, and we can remind ourselves of them. And at that point, we'll also be able to see what we were able to accomplish this fiscal year and see if any of those suggestions should be added to our priorities.
No, I agree. It's
And the one thing I will note is the planning board's response about the water in some of the recommendations report. While it may not be listed as a specific goal, I think it would be a subcategory of what we would assign to the sustainability
Right,
committee,
right.
should that be approved. So I
Right.
think
Yeah.
that would still be covered, even if it's not specifically identified on your
that's
list.
good point.
Right, and I mean, water's a big piece of it, and as a matter of fact, I can think of 3 things we could do right off the bat that would be low hanging fruit, with the water, and I think Anna mentioned it, already, like to get the reporting. We're still monitoring all the wells, it's just we have so much data, it's kind of hard to see all the data points. Oh, maybe finding a different way to show them.
Dave, comments regarding I think Robin and I are on similar pages, keeping what we have. I don't seem to think that there's a need to add anything to this. What are your thoughts?
I don't think we need to add anything. You guys have said it pretty eloquently. I don't need to repeat it. These are all.
Oh, but you could.
Let's just make sure we don't forget, and let's complete our goals, because there's so many that overlap. If we can do the ones that overlap, then everyone's going to be very happy.
Right.
That's right.
And Carol, yes, I did get them. I was on the phone with Carol today when my phone just died, and she's like, so I do have them.
Well done.
There's a goal, Dave. New phone.
New
Yeah.
phone.
It's tomorrow's goal.
Don't blame Carol for killing your phone.
I recently had to get a new phone, and it's painful.
Okay, that makes 3. Look at this, the new. 3 of us getting new phones in the past week. That's
Well, Dave doesn't have his yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm hoping I can just get a SIM card.
That might work. I know, it's just.
Dave. I had to sit literally with my kids they walked me through it like I'm a 3rd grader. So it's the introduction to the new everything, but it only takes a couple hours and it's all good. We are going to move to updates. Item 8. Board of Selectmen updates.
Do we need to move to finalize the goals?
Do we need a motion, Michael?
Yeah, so just if you could move to approve the FY25 goals and priorities as presented.
I move to approve FY25 goals and priorities as presented and ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, John Jeffries.
Aye, Robin Hunter.
Aye, Dave Haviland.
And I would like to thank Concom and the planning board for reading our goals and providing us with feedback.
Absolutely. It was good feedback.
It
And
was
Chris
excellent
and
feedback.
Michael and Mona for the many edits of this annual process, which is it really is focus. It helps us prioritize. It helps the whole staff in the department and the town. It is a very uniquely small town thing to do, but it's really helpful, and I'm glad we do it every year. So item number 8 is the updates, Board of Selectmen updates. Our meeting, our community center building meeting, which typically happens on Tuesday, was moved to Wednesday. We had testing in the windows for our many community members, residents, visitors who are going to watch this. I encourage you to drive through the center of town and look at the windows that have been installed into the community center. We've got windows and window testing. So the construction firm, the building committee, the Board of Selectmen, as we have been going through this building process, we refer to the buildings as Pavilion, 1910 building, and the gym. Three very different structures that are all connected. The windows that you see in the large old community center, the old Carroll building, is the 1910 building. Those windows have been tested many times. There's a bit of a backstory, which probably is not appropriate to discuss this evening, but just want people to know that the windows are being installed. The windows in the pavilion are being installed as well, and the windows in the gym are already installed. So you'll see progress, and lots of people have asked, where is the progress? So how is the progress? So to that end, we, the Board of Selectmen, with Michael and Chris, with the building committee, with Dick Malcolm and Dave Billings and Ford and everybody who's a part of the building committee, we are putting in more hours into this than probably anything else in the town at the moment, and have since the building project began. So we are at critical stages. We are being extremely diligent. It's a stressful process, as anybody who's built anything or had any work done in their homes or offices, or it's never easy, but we are committed to it. And Michael, is there anything that you would like me to add, subtract, or multiply from those comments?
Nope, I appreciate you saying that. I think that was good.
So there we are for that. We had our first open space meeting, which I believe I commented on last week. So also we had Dover Days, which I am proud to report that Michael Blanchard and Chris Costello's ducks were the hit of Dover Days. There'll be more on that later. I don't want to steal anybody's thunder, but Robin, anything you would like to report?
No, I think I would like to thank Park and Rec. I think Dover Days was a huge success. I would like to thank our consultant, Mike Blanchard's 13-year-old daughter, for the recommendation of the duck. They were a huge success. And you know, it was great to get people engaged and asking questions about what's going on in the community. There was a really nice vibe. It was fun to see, you know, kids running around. Very well-behaved dogs were there too. So it was just, and the weather cooperated.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, I think Park and Rec did a great job pulling everything together. I think it's a new tradition for the town to have a tent there, and you know, we have to find something that's going to be as successful for next year. You know, I don't know if ducks are still going to be in, but you know, they were certainly a hit.
Dog toys, Robin, dog toys.
Dog toys.
Yeah, dog toys, dog biscuits, right?
So
There's a whole lot of things we could think, and we have a year to plan.
That's right.
But we do have a great consultant, so.
Robin, what kind of deal did you strike with for that consultant?
I don't know. I just said, who came up with these ducks? This is brilliant. And
Well, the consultant was disappointed because I told her that I'd bring home a leftover duck, and little did I know we were out within the first hour and a half. So,
right.
I
So,
owe her own duck.
Chris calculated it. We got rid of one duck a minute.
right. Well, a couple of lessons learned. We had too many opportunities to win ducks.
That's right.
You know, so you know.
Oh, those little kids, though, the look on their face when they got to win a duck or a piece of candy, or I mean, they were having more fun. That was
Right, and it was great because little kids could be engaged. There wasn't a
Yeah.
lot that had to be done, so.
All right, I can tell you that I was incredibly impressed that every second and third grade girl knew every word to every Taylor Swift song I think ever written. It was just all the karaoke was little girls singing Taylor Swift songs the entire day. Very impressive.
And it's not only young girls. I
Oh, really?
I know many words to Taylor
Oh,
Swift.
really?
Yes.
We might have
They
learned
are,
something tonight.
yeah, they are. I won't sing any of them for you because I cannot hold a tune, but I am a big fan, and her music is very invigorating to exercise to.
Two things we've learned tonight. Wow.
Right, right. I'm a Swiftie. I've been a Swiftie for many years, so.
Revealing. Wow.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm proud of it.
Oh my. All right, there you have it. Well, one thing that we should mention is that the Open Space Committee and Michael did receive the conservation restriction proposal from Hale, and in its current form, I assume, Michael, that obviously we don't have input from it because it's the conservation restriction from Hale and not from the town in its current form.
So just to clarify, I actually have not received it yet to date.
You haven't received it, okay.
I anticipate I will though. And yeah, so I do have to work through a little bit, but you are generally right. While the town does have some obligation, to okay the agreement, but right, in theory, the work has been done and it'll be presented to you kind of as is document.
Thank you. Anything else to add before we move on?
No,
And
I mean, the one thing, did we change the time of the October 10th meeting? I'm gonna be in Europe, so it's difficult for me to make a 6:30 p.m. meeting. But if we can't find a time, I'm happy if John and
okay.
Dave do
So,
the meeting on their
Robin,
own.
I wonder if we got the dates mixed up or if your schedule changed. So it looks like we had made October 24th early. We made that a 2 o'clock meeting.
Yeah, so it's the opposite,
Okay.
October 10th.
So, Michael, could we have I'll get back to you. I'm flying that day. I'm in Florida, flying back, and I just need to give you or Mona what time my flight is that day because I can do it before, I can do it after, but I can't do it during the flight.
Yeah. So if you want to
So,
let us know, and then if we can, and Dave, once we have a time, if we can move it earlier so that everybody can participate, I'd certainly be thrilled to do that.
okay. And Robin, the 10th, the preference for you is early.
Right, so it's 6 hours ahead, so it makes it midnight, which I
Yeah.
don't function so well. I don't sleep when I'm there, so
Right.
it would be fine. But
But if we did it morning our time, so
right, so if we did it 11 or 12, then it's 6 o'clock, so that works for me.
Normally, I would say that's fine, but I'm going to be on my way back from Buffalo. So
Okay.
what about the 3rd?
what
Does it
about the movie? Yeah, what about just moving it to
I
the
could do the 3rd.
3rd?
Michael, how's the 3rd look for you and Chris and
It's
Mona?
next week, though. Do we have enough time? Is it next week? No, the 3rd would work.
There was a reason we skipped the
Oh,
3rd.
it's a Jewish holiday.
Yes, that's right.
It's
Thank
Rosh
you. Thank you.
Hashanah, right?
Those are supposed to be on my calendar, and it's not. Huh.
Hmm.
Um,
What about the Wednesday? Dave, if we did,
I'm going to be away the 7th, 8th, 9th, and most of the 10th. That's
Okay.
only
I
What about
Wednesday the 2nd.
what?
I
Or
I am fine if you do it without me.
okay, let's just Dave, you submit, give Mona and Chris some dates. I'll do the same. I'll let just that I have a pretty full week of meetings in Florida that week. But
The week of the what? The 30th or the 7th?
no, the 7th, 8th, 9th. Yeah, I'm in our Florida office all that week. So, which is new, by the way. So
I could, for me, like 3 or 4 p.m. would work fine because it's 9
Yeah.
or 10.
I think literally, Rob and I would just be getting back at that time. I probably
Okay.
booked the flights around the meeting time, but we could, Friday morning, the 11th, maybe let's just figure
Can
out
you do Friday morning, Robin?
I'm traveling back,
Okay.
so.
Dave, is Friday morning good for you?
It would be.
All right. Let's you and I and we'll try to figure out what's what on that week, and times that are available.
Yeah,
What time would you do it in the morning?
on which day, Robin?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be on a flight. That's the problem
Yeah.
on Friday, so.
Yeah, same with me on that Thursday.
Just make sure there are nothing to do with the building committee that day.
Yeah.
Well, are we going to meet next week as well?
So yeah, if you haven't had a chance to look at your email, if you could let me know your availability. We're looking at Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week. And at least at this time, it would be a community center specific meeting. If anything else were to pop up, we certainly could include it as well. But
Okay.
So if you just want to reply to that, let me know. Could be daytime, could be evening, whatever works for you.
Okay. Robin, you here and you're next week?
Oh, God, yes.
You're here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year, so that starts the evening of Wednesday, October the 2nd. So, I mean, if we want to try do a meeting on Tuesday, that could work.
Yeah.
But
Tuesday the 8th?
again, if it's easier just to keep it October 10th, you should go ahead and do that.
Well,
if we meet next week and take care of, any incidentals, including a consent agenda, what have you, could we then wait until the 24th?
That's a long gap.
Very long gap.
But we could look at it, and as long as the board was willing to try to, kind of like we're doing next week, pull together a one-off meeting for any pressing items that would come up, we could certainly look at that.
Yeah, because it sounds like we're all away the week of the 7th.
Right.
And the Columbus Day week, I'm also gone. So if there's any way we could meet on 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be huge. But after that,
Right, but I mean, I really think you and John should just meet whenever you can on the week of October 10th, and
All right.
okay, we'll just do that then.
There's just some times when you just can't do it.
It sounds like we definitely, Dave and I.
And if I'm awake at midnight, I'll dial in.
We definitely have Friday the 11th, so we'll figure something out for that week. But Mike,
And
you want to
going
go
forward, if you
to?
could all please have your travel pre-approved by this office, we would appreciate that.
What I did.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how much misery that would cause you if you had to deal with all the travel? Oh my.
Mona is going, oh no, oh no.
Oh no, exactly. No, no, no. She will have none of that. Michael, your updates.
Sure. So just a few to keep it brief. We've talked about a lot of what we're working on already. Um, this has not been unveiled yet, and Chris is going to probably get mad I'm jumping the gun, but I've been working with Robin, to see
Not
if
me.
Robin and Chris on a project, which Robin actually mentioned today. So I just thought it was timely to mention it. I'm working on a project called a bus binder, which
I love it.
we've acknowledged we don't have a big bench, and so when someone is out unexpectedly, oftentimes we're scrambling and not sure what people are supposed to be doing on a given month or reoccurring assignments. So we're going to be working with department heads to start to roll out a department head level bus binder, so that if someone is out, I could walk into the office, open it up, and have some semblance of what's supposed to be happening. So I just thought that was good timing that you were talking
I
about that.
love the name of it.
Yes.
You're channeling Arthur Bryant, so I love it.
Yes, he is.
Great project,
the
guys.
only other,
Very much necessary, and it will pay dividends for years.
Right, right.
Yes, right. The only other things I want to mention is one is you may have seen we posted on Facebook yesterday that Willow Street reopened. We do have some temporary barriers that are still there until the permanent guardrail can be installed, but it is open. You can pass through. Kevin brought me out today for a little tour. It looks really nice, and just appreciate everybody's patience as we go through some of these infrastructure upgrades. And we already got people letting us know how happy they are with it, and someone said they feel much safer going over it now. So that's good. I don't know, Robin, if you talked at all about the housing task force, but the RFP is live, and we have got some feedback from consultants that are interested in responding. So we haven't got anything to date. It's not due till later this month, but people have expressed an interest, which is really great. The Rail Trail Working Group continues to meet, and we've been working on a press release, which we hope will go live in the not too distant future. And I'm also working. I met this week. I think it was this week. It all blurs together. With the Natick town administrator, as we're looking to see how we can best serve veterans in Dover with a veteran service officer, and we're actually looking at perhaps forming a veteran services region, which other communities have. And so again, obviously we, being a small town, we don't have the need for a full-time agent. So looking to work with other communities to still offer those important services. And that's all I had.
That's also terrific. Thank you.
Well
I had
done.
some wisecrack I was going to make, but
You let it go?
I let it
No,
go.
I blew it. I'm sorry, Robin.
Probably wasn't all that good either.
Dave, we've learned a lot this evening. Number one, get Robin when she's tired and jet lagged, and you find out about music taste and Taylor Swift, and she's just not as quick to insult. So we should try to plan our meetings around her tired.
All you have to do is start out with a Taylor Swift song, and I'll be in a good place.
Good frame of mind. We're going to go to our consent agenda. Consists of the following: approval for the Sunday, October 6, 2024, Sherbrooke Drive Block Party, which everybody is invited to. The approval of the 2024 one-day special liquor licenses for September 21st, 30th, October 2nd, 5th, 8th, 11th, and 12th. So I move to approve the consent agenda as presented and ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, John Jeffries.
Robin.
I, Robin Hunter.
I, Dave Haviland.
She is tired. Thank you all. And Chris or Michael, anything else to add before we move to adjourn?
Nope, I think that's everything. Thank you all very much.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you both very much. And Mona, appreciate it very much. And everyone have a great night.
Thank you.
I move for adjourn and ask for a second.
Second,
All in favor? I, John Jeffries.
I, Robin Hunter.
Bye, Dave Havilland.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Have a good night.